I'm welcoming Dr. Jeanette Fürstenberg from General Catalyst, Managing Director for Europe. You've been taking part in our discussion today, in our panel discussion from the boardroom program on geopolitics and corporate resilience, current challenges for top management. And we were discussing a bit on AI, and maybe I raised that question in terms of the global competition on AI. What do you think is a potential chance for Europe in terms of technology development, AI development, given your experience you just had joining the AI Action Summit in Paris earlier this week with President Macron from France and Ursula von der Leyen, the Commission President from Europe. What is your experience and your view on the chances of Europe in that context?
Yeah, so actually Europe has a huge opportunity with AI. I think it's for the first time that as Europe we are confronted with a digital technology that is not disruptive in nature, because it's not something that gives you access to new distribution, but is a technology that is inherently transformative, meaning it makes existing data and existing distribution more effective, more profitable, more productive. And that is inherently something that lends itself well to the archetype of European industry. So the big opportunity we have in Europe is to unlock the huge value creation that will happen at the application layer. That will happen from our leading industry companies and our global champions that we've built in Europe over the past decades, leaning into AI, adopting AI, and in that same context, creating a flywheel of innovation of a local ecosystem of AI providers. And I think what's meaningful to say and important to state is that most of the leading researchers in AI are actually European. We have a lot of incredible talent that is building technology here for this next generation of AI transformation. And I think the most important thing we need to understand is this is going to be so critical to Europe's infrastructure and our sort of new technology stack that we must build resiliency into Europe, also from an industrial adoption perspective.
If we break it down to the individual businesses, from the perspective of individual businesses, what do you think is the most getting out of it from implementing AI to get more resilient as a business?
Well, I think what AI really gives you, first of all, it gives you a huge boost in productivity. And if you think about the fact that we've never seen GDP growth without population growth, and demographics plays a decisive role. I think all of us have a shortage of labor in Europe that's significant and that's going to be ever widening, then AI is the answer to that, right? So that's really the opportunity that we must lean into, and that's why there is so much potential for us to harness in terms of AI adoption that goes all the way from horizontal enterprise workflows to sort of more vertical specific sort of AI products that can be generated. And yeah, I can encourage you to read a report that we recently released on the subject called An Ambitious Agenda for European AI that actually highlights early examples of how AI is actually already unlocking value for some of Europe's world market leaders.
Okay. And final question, if you look at the discussions potentially between supervisory boards and executive on AI, what do you give as an advice into that group?
It has to become an absolute top issue for leaders. I think CEOs need to embrace the topic, they need to lean into the topic full on, they need to get informed, and they need to make sure that they drive adoption to the max and do that in a way that it addresses the biggest secular threats that they're experiencing to their companies. I think that's kind of the highest order bit we must lean into.
Thank you, Jeanette, for joining our Deloitte lounge at the Munich Security Conference and our panel discussion.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here. Bye-bye.
Thank you.